KJ events, this real talks the brand. You understand how we do, my man. I'm on that Friday night Knick shit, dripping in Knick shit. Up in the world, most famous arena with the click. That's the conglomerate. The Knicks real talk is real prominent. I'm a bit like the Omicron variant, dominant. Paying homage to the cat from the chat. That's where it's at. Cause I'm hearing that you don't care for how early we straight facts. We interact with the mob, the gods. Up in the pod, the squad, with the side. My entourage be on the job, my energy. Feeling tripping in tempo as they cook my game plan. And my brand for loot and pursuit. Going hard like the New York City gritty committee. Cause that's the Knicks we know is pretty, but we all stay giddy. And we embrace the fan base like the late Anthony Mace. We trace the logo when there's space that appear like Squarespace. Staring down on the Chase Bridge, looking at Knick City drip. The city decks is on the court, looking pretty legit. I stay true to the orange and blue. But what you do for him, a few bars to shine like stars divine the Mount Mars. Knicks real talk. Here we go, let's go.
Knicks real talk right here. I'm representing
Knicks real talk.
right here. Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
We here in the building.
Knicks real talk.
Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Knicks real talk.
We here.
Here we go, let's go.
Knicks real talk. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Yeah. Salute. What's good, everybody? Knicks real talk. Let's get it. We in the building. My man, Shaw Powers is here with me, man. We about to get it popping for a little bit. And talk this Knick thing, man. We got to talk about Cam Reddish and RJ Extenison. Emmanuel quickly this point guard spot to lose or win. We're going to talk about some connections that got the Knicks in the building with Donovan Mitchell and some people who they just hired recently. So it's going to be pretty interesting, man. But let me bring in my partner in crime, though, and say what's up to you fellas, man. Shaw Powers, what's up?
Salute Divine, salute KJ. We both outside, man. We outside, man. We outside. Yeah, salute to the chat. Let's get it.
Yeah. KJ, what's good, my man?
Divine, Shy, salute. Knicks Real Talk family, salute. Happy Memorial Day weekend to all.
Facts.
Be out and about as always.
Yeah, real talk. I mean, these cats stay working no matter where they at. They pop in, make sure the show is popping. My home and abroad, they in here. Shy, what's good, sister? We in the building, man, doing our thing, man. But we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about this Cam Reddish and RJ Extenison coming up because that's going to be pretty much important moving forward. Then we also going to talk about IQ, the point guard spot. I see him doing some workouts over the summer at the Summit, looking pretty decent there with the handles and all this good stuff. And then the Knicks just hired Savannah Drop, who was also used to be a former NBA player, but he was also assistant coach for the Utah Jazz, like Johnny Bryant was, and also Walt Perrin, all that connection with Donovan Mitchell. So you never know what can happen with that. But I'm glad to be here on this nice, beautiful Sunday. Wherever you guys that love the weather looking decent, it's decent down here. And let's get it, man. Like I said, we got RJ coming up with the extension, him and Cam Reddish guys. And I just think that really right now, obviously we know that he's going to sign RJ Barrett. I don't foresee them not signing him. So I think he's going to be amongst the board, man. And what you guys think, man? You guys excited about his return? Shaw Powell, knowing that we're going to have him coming back?
Yeah, man. I'm happy to see that we're going to, we're going to start making some moves this offseason, man. There's a lot of things that's been speculating out there about who's going, who's coming, and who we're going to keep and who we're going to let go. So, like we always been saying, man, this front office is going to make some major moves this offseason. I believe this year is the year. We've been a little stagnant, a little trade here and there with the D Rose and the Cam Reddish. We haven't turned nothing over at the trade deadline, not like that. But I believe this front office is a very smart front office, man. Once they sign these guys, these contracts that are expiring this year. So let's see what the Knicks do, man. And I'm happy to see that we have some potential prospects out there as well.
Yeah, real talk, man. I gotta salute my brother with the nature drip in the background, though. They're killing it. Do right there, real talk. KJ, man, RJ Barrett. Obviously, a lot of people don't think he's gonna get that major max extension, but I do think that he probably gets something closer with Julius Randle guy. What you think?
Yeah, it was something. And right now, the Knicks organization, us the Knicks fan base, are looking for the next potential young superstar, and RJ Barrett fits that description right now. Based on some of the things that he's been doing lately, RJ Barrett, I believe that he will get something. Just don't know what it is. But whatever he does get, Divine and Shy, I think it's going to be for the betterment of the New York Knicks, and he will work it out.
Yeah, real talk. Because I think he's definitely a cornerstone. He's one of our cornerstones to the franchise, man. And having him come aboard here, man, since his rookie year and do the things that he had been doing and the numbers he's been putting up, gradually improving his game every year. It's kind of only right that the Knicks go ahead and put that young man in the fold for the next 4 years, 5 years, to get extend that contract. Like I said, a lot of people were debating whether he get a super max, and so after all that, if you look at his career numbers right quick, let's go over his seasons right quick. He done played 3 full seasons with the Knicks. Games played 56 in the first year, 72, 70. The man went from his points per game 14, 17, 20. He had a really good year last year all around, but this year everybody took a step back shooting wise. But he been gradually increasing his numbers as time go on, getting better every year. So hopefully he get to come out there and improve on some of the statistic categories that got him maybe could be even a higher scorer, higher rebounder, higher facilitator. But at the same time, he's shooting pretty decent. Last year he really had a good year shooting. He shot 40% from 3. This year he dropped off pretty tremendously to 34. Even field goal percentage in the 2-point area was 44% down to 40. And that was the whole team this year coming across like that, man. So you wonder whether the basketball, whether the offense, whether the player's injured or no point guard, who knows what the case may be. But I do believe that, moving forward, guys, Sha Powell, I think he got a good chance of really going out here and doing some good things for the Knicks for sure.
Yeah, this year was I guess if you want to say an off shooting year for the whole team. Everyone's shooting under 45%. I said for Mitchell Robinson, but I think the what I can say about RJ is his percentage did go down shooting and shooting from the field and shooting from the 3. But he did take more shots this year, as evidence that he got to the free throw line way more than he got in his first and second years, in his first, second, and third year in his being a New York Knick. So with that being said, man, he did take more shots, but he did get to the foul line. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 14 times a game or something like that. That is pretty high for a small forward to get to the free throw line that many times. So big up to RJ Barrett, man. Let's see what he could do, man. I think he's going to get an extension. I'm not sure if he's going to get the max, but I think he'll be happy with $125 million for 5 years. I think he'll do something like that.
Yeah. I'm pretty much in agreement with you guys. At one time, I considered him going the other way, getting a little bit more, but and no question in my mind, New York Knicks are going to bring him back. I mean, RJ Barrett, because you can't underestimate a guy who ascends every year. It's different, if he was going backwards. But the man look like he seems like he's trying to improve every year, work on his game, get better. It's always in the gym, come from a really good pedigree of people around him. So his mother, father, sports athletes, professional sports athletes, got a good character. He got a lot of that good stuff going in his favor. I do think much as people don't like him, Knicks definitely bringing RJ Barrett back. That's no question about that.
Absolutely. A guy that averaged 20-something points per game, he could have averaged more if he had made a couple more free throws. Let me tell you something. So my whole thing, RJ Barrett, again, we haven't had a young superstar, someone that's been consistent as RJ Barrett in a long time. So we got to go ahead and sign him. We need some, unless it's something that's out there for us. But the way it's looking right now, we need to finally mold someone. Again, since the last time we molded someone was Charlie Ward. He got a second contract. We really got to mold someone now for the future, and RJ Barrett fits that description. So let the team build around RJ Barrett. I hope that's what it's going to be, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Emil Fuller, salute Emil Fuller. Emil's really not big on RJ too much. Was from his perspective understandable, but what this what RJ does to me is we knew coming out of college he wasn't a great shooter. You know what I mean? So we knew understand it, but that's why you work on your game and you let the maturation start taking place. But at the same time, you look at his numbers and what he can do with a basketball. He gets downhill more than a lot of people on the Knicks team. And one thing I do like about that, he's not relying on his jump shot to get him to get him going. If the jump shot ain't going, he goes downhill a lot. He gets a lot of contact. He goes downhill a lot. So that's kind of impressive to see that somebody who's not going to settle for a jump shot. You look at a lot of guys on our team. If they jump shot is not popping, then they really don't got nothing else to go on. At least this young man, he goes downhill a lot, gets to the bucket a lot. Once he get down there, start working on his playmaking and open up that floor for other people. I think it's going to be different, Sha Powell. And that's why I like RJ Barrett, due to the fact he always going downhill. He don't go east to west. He go north to south. And that's where you want to play basketball. You don't want to be going side to side. You want to go up and down. And he does that pretty well. So he just got to prove on a certain thing. Think about this here. Like you said, he's 20 points a game, and he wasn't shooting the free throw percentage good. Can you imagine if he would have hit some of the free throws this year? RJ Barrett would have been up in 20-something game, as we always say. And like I said, the past year, he shot 40% from three, had a good all numbers all around the year 2020, 2020 and 21. Just obviously last year, the whole team didn't shoot good last year. So I think the Knicks going to sign him, give him maybe 125, like you said, or whatever. And we'll see how it goes. Because I definitely like what he brings to the table. I like his competitive. He's competitive. He go hard. He got that in him. And I think you got to have that to be in New York. Everybody can't do that and play in New York. They don't have a certain type of competitive energy. He has it for sure.
Yes. The only real things the things I think RJ needs to just maybe enhance a little improvement on, or whichever way you want to call it, is his decision making. He needs to, freshen up his decision making, especially when he drives to the hole and stuff like that. His finishing, he finished pretty well, not bad, finishing at the hoop. A little inefficient, but he did more of that this year than I ever seen him do any other year. Develop a mid-range shot. That, I think, is one of the biggest things, the second biggest thing that he needs to do this year is develop that mid-range, that foul line down jump shot. I think if he develops that game there, that'll change his game totally around. And the number one thing is hit free throws. I need RJ to get high 70s, low 80s next year. I need him to be 77 to 83% of free throw shooting, because that'll change his game tremendously. Because now all those drives to the hole that he doesn't score the basket, he has more opportunity of putting the ball in the basket with the free throws.
Yeah, facts, and that's what I look at, man. And that's what I really look at with him. Somebody's 6'6", 6'7" now, probably. He defends pretty decent. He got bully ball in him. Like, can you imagine if he shot like Julius Randle? See, Julius Randle don't get down hole like down the hill like RJ Barrett, but also RJ Barrett don't shoot like Julius Randle.
Right.
So, right. So one of them could do one thing good, and one could do things. Well, the other could do something good. But for a guy to be 21 years old, every year he's been in the league, he's improved his game number wise and everything. So his trajectory is only moving forward. It's going up. When Emil asked, would I trade him for Donovan Mitchell? No, I would like to pair him with Donovan Mitchell. And that takes the pressure off of him, having a guy like Donovan Mitchell with him. We know he's not going to be we know he's not elite. We know he's not the Jason Tatum of the world, but you didn't look at his numbers. That don't mean he can't get there. The guy only been in the league 3 years. He's 21 years old. So I'm really excited about RJ Barrett, man. I just think that this guy got what it takes to play in New York. And everybody can't play here. Not everybody can play here. You know what I mean? They can come here for one night and come in the garden, light it up, and go home. But if they had to do that for a whole regular season, a lot of guys won't be able to do that in New York, because you got to have a certain type of demeanor to play in New York. So at least RJ been around this thing for 3 years. He took the pressure of playing in the city with the fan base, the media, everybody. And every year he came in, he's just started to get kind of keep putting his head down, keep rolling, keep going, and trying to get better every day. You want guys like that, man, who's going to get better continuously, non-stop in their careers. I guarantee you in 2 years we won't be talking the same about RJ, because he would have improved his shooting better. The free throw percentage would have got better. You know what I mean? And his playmaking, like you say, once he get the mid-range, like you said, then that's a wrap. You know what I mean? So he will definitely, he could have a 22 or 23 this year, like we said, if he would have hit the free throw. So him, I'm not worried about. I think the Knicks lock him up for whatever it is. They're going to keep RJ Barrett here. I don't see them even. I don't even see them question moving him. I just don't think they would do that.
Yeah, that's a fact, Devon. And like I said, man, he free up the. I mean, he makes if he makes 80% of his free throws with him going to the basket about 8. I forgot the number. It was double digits, but I think it was. I'm gonna say 8 to 12 times a night. That changes his whole game plan. That takes him from 20 points a night to close to 24 points a night. I believe this year RJ is going to have a chip on his shoulder. I think this is his 4th year. He's been snubbed out of the top 25. He's been snubbed from the rookie league. He's been from the sophomore league. He hasn't been acknowledged the way that he needs to be acknowledged. And I think this year is going to be the year that RJ makes his name ring well through the NBA. You hear the players talk about RJ Barrett. You hear, multiple players saying how the guy came into his own now. His body is starting to form real right. I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to be even bigger and tighter than he was last year. I think he's going to better up his dribble than he did a little bit last year. And I hope that the two things that I'm hoping for is that he develops a mid-range game and hit some free throws. That's going to elevate his game to get him close to being mentioned about making it to the All-Star game.
Yeah, real talk. I mean, you know what? RJ don't have to be the guy on his team. You can bring another superstar here for him to be the guy. You know what I mean? But he's definitely to be part of this fold. RJ Barrett don't have to be the main guy in the Knicks, but you could bring in guys that can play with him or that's even better than him. But what he brings to the table, no question in my mind, the Knicks need to keep RJ Barrett. You can't underestimate what the young man is and what he do at 21. You know what I mean? There's a lot of young, good talent out here in the NBA. It's guys, and RJ don't have to be the creme de la creme of all the young players out here. We know how John Moran get down. We know how all these guys get down. We got some very good talent in the NBA, and we're not asking RJ to be these guys. We asking RJ to help be that man for the Knicks. I don't worry about who would hold all the other guys. We know RJ is not John Moran. We know that. We know he's not Zion Williamson. We know he's not a lot of guys. But what we do know is he's RJ Barrett for the New York Knicks, and he really got a good chance to help the franchise put some pieces around him and get better. And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? We can't compare because he don't do this and he don't do that he's not that compared. Forget all that. You know what I mean? It's like, what has he done for the New York Knicks? Rookie year, 14 points a game. Second year, 17 points a game. Third year, 20 points a game. If you a basketball savant or a basketball minded person, you was like, you know what? This cat gets better every year. That's what you want in players. That's what you want in yourself. That's what you want in everybody. You want to get better every year. And I think that's what it is with RJ Barrett. So I'm happy that he's a Knick man. He want to be here. He down with the city. Now he's about to go to Canada, play on the world team. He's going to get a little bit more rep this year. Hopefully come back off the injury. He come back off the injury and have a pretty good season. But I'm looking forward to RJ fourth year in a contract year. I think RJ comes out of the season 23 points a game. No question, Shop Howard.
No question, man. He just got to fine tune his things. If he could change up his percentages a little bit, make it closer to 43 to 45 from the field, and if he can square up 35, 36 at 3-point line, and 68 to 82% at the free throw line. I mean, all those three things that I mentioned are hard to do, but with work, putting in that work like I know he's already is. I know he's already down in Terrytown already doing his thing, putting in the work and doing things like that. If he can square up 2 out of those 3 things, man, he's going to have a big year for us this year, man. And I'm just hopeful for RJ, and I think that he's going to come. I think this year he's going to come with that chip. I think he's going to come with that chip. I've been snubbed out of all of this stuff. I ain't been mentioned in all of these things. He said, "I'm here. I'm a veteran now. I'm a young veteran right now. You know, I may be 20. I think his birthday is coming up next week. Something like that. So he'll be 22 soon. But with him being 22 years old, he's a young veteran now. He's been in the league 4 years now since he was 18. So, it should be no doubt and no question in my mind that he's going to make some big moves this year."
Hey, Parrish, I agree with you 100%. Hey, Parrish, if that man get to 80%, it's game over. It's game over. You know what I mean? Real talk. So let's see how that goes. That brother could get in the offseason, get with Chris and his guys and all the guys we help work out with, producing all his numbers, get his numbers up, get everything ready to pop. And then next thing you know, man, we go into his 4th year looking to make it happen. Maybe he can lead the Knicks help lead the Knicks back to the playoffs, whatever the case may be. But I'm excited about him, man. So salute to RJ Barrett. Go out there and do your thing, man, and come back out healthy. Cash out James, salute my brother, salute to the chat. Real talk. But yeah, man, the next man on the doctor, man. His partner crime out of Duke. Real quick, let me throw up RJ's salary record. We'll be getting the next player, but you look at his numbers right now. He's got a team option this year for RJ Barrett, almost 11 million, 10,900,000. This is a team option. The next year he go into the free agent thing. So as you see that $11 million, that's probably gonna get doubled up a little bit more. And if they do that, then you know what? Hey, they put him around 20-something million a year. The man go out there and show and prove and get it popping. So we'll see how are they gonna go with that moving forward. But I think it's gonna be in the middle 20s, I think, for RJ Barrett for that. But the next cat, man, that we're gonna talk about, on this thing, man, is his partner in crime out of Duke. He's in the extension year, and these are two players that's on the extension year. That's why I brought them up today. But as you know, RJ Barrett is there, extension year, and as well, my man Cam Reddish is up right there. Cam Reddish is due for extension. He's another guy that's going to be interesting right there. He's another guy we really need to talk about. Far as Cam Reddish, it's like a lot of speculation with that. We're not sure the Knicks going to keep him. Are they going to trade him? But for somebody only making $5 million a year, I think that's a talent you got to kind of keep around and see what he's doing this year. He's in the contract year as well, and see what he's going to do. Is he going to bounce back off that shoulder injury, get it popping, see if he can help be a part of this thing, get more minutes, and be a part of this rotation and really help the Knicks with some athleticism. He's a good two-way player. The man can shoot the ball pretty decent. He can get to the hole. He can do a lot of things. He's a really talented young man. So, shout out for me. Cam Reddish is really another guy that I'm wondering what they're going to do with. Because, early in the year, they had him in trade speculations and at the trading deadline and things that nature. So, knowing that he's going to have to be extended, or the Knicks going to be willing to put the money out there for him, or they think they might need to trade him to get something else in here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation under Cam Reddish right now. He's been in a lot of these help out trade things for the Knicks that I've seen out there right now. I hope that we can try to hold it. I guess it is really all going to depend on how the Knicks make these moves in this offseason. Like I said, I see a lot of things out there. A lot of people talking about that seventh pick, man, that seventh pick. And a lot of people talking about either Randall or Grant going over to Portland. And from the Detroit or New York Knicks are going to get that seventh pick. And if we get that seventh pick and we keep our 11th pick, I don't know what's going to happen with Cam. I really don't know what's going to happen with Cam. I want Cam to stay here. I think he can fill out and part of the 10-man rotation, even with picking up 2 new players and stuff like that. But a lot of speculation out there saying that Cam is an add-on to Fournier or add-on to Randall or him being moved with 2 or 3 other players and a small but kind of significant move to bring back a player. So my big thing for Cam, I want to see him out there, man. We haven't seen enough time with him being out there to really produce, man. And I wish that he can come in this year and get some. It all depends on how they start the lineup too, man. I like for me, I think that it'll probably be IQ. If we don't do no major trades or make no moves for a point guard or nothing like that, I think IQ will be our starting point guard, and I think Grimes. I think Grimes is going to be our 2, and RJ is going to be our 3. But to bring back for Cam Reddish, I think Cam Reddish will be our 6 or 7 man coming off the bench to relieve RJ this year. So if that's the case, I hope when he gets in there, he could get in there and play some big minutes, man, because from the little sample size that we seen last year was just a taste, man. I seen some games when he was in Atlanta that he could really get the ball going, man. He could shoot the ball, he could penetrate, he could play defense, he could throw it on you, he can take the short jumper, he could drive to the hole with either hand. So he's a very, very good player. He just haven't had the time, and his injuries have snubbed his career a little bit. So one way or another, I would love to see Cam here to try to build his career with his running mate RJ Barrett, and see if they can do some good things with that 1 and 2 punch at that 3 position.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Mill was saying that trading Cam and draft capital move up in the draft is not a bad idea. It's not a deal, but you know what? And it's not a bad idea, believe it or not. But at the same time, for $5 million, you got a lot of talent there. You know what I mean? For $5 million, that's a lot of talent. You know what I mean? For $5 million, and what I would like to see him come into the season with the Knicks, and to see how it happens when he get to the trading deadline. If they think that Cam Reddish didn't make the leap that they want him to make, or he's not going to be a part of the Knicks, then at the trading deadline, you can will and deal because you did give up a 2021 first round pick for him. So you know what I mean. So I can see either way, either the way Emil is talking or in a trade with somebody. But me personally, I think the young man's a talented young man. But if you can hold on to him at least to the trading deadline next year, and if he pop, if not, then you got to get rid of him. So, I like Cam Reddish, man. I'm hoping that he comes out of that injury because just when he got injured, he was starting to come into his own a little bit. He was starting to get comfortable with the Knicks, the way the Knicks play basketball. Because when you come over to a new team, you just can't jump right into the fire and think that you're going to be like you was when you left the other team. You have to know their game plan. You got to know the way they play basketball down there in New York. And it took him a while to get there, but once he got there, he was really starting to make it happen. Then obviously he got the shoulder injury after that block on the defense. He fell on the shoulder. So let's hope he come back a little bit more stronger, ready to prove a point. When you play in your contract year, you're gonna want to go out there and make it happen. And that's why I'm intrigued about him so far. Yeah, facts. But I'm intrigued about Cam Reddish because he's in a contract year, and he's gonna want to show out. He want to put his numbers up so he can get his money. He's gonna want to get the bag somewhere. So let's see how it goes, man. I'm excited about Cam Reddish. I like that 6'8" frame of his, 7'1" wingspan. He got nice size, nice shoulders. He's a good player, man. So let's see if the Knicks keep him much sharp out. I really think he can make a difference on his team, whether it's starting off the bench. He can have an impact on the Knicks one way or the other. And that's why I'm hoping that they keep him around and give him the opportunity to showcase his talent at a more length of time because he only had a short period of time when he got here.
Yeah, I mean, I like Cam. I think that he could be a very good contributor on the New York Knicks team next year. Now, what the front office is thinking about him, I'm not too sure. I know he's out there playing. I seen some things out there. Who was it, Deuce McBride or something like that said that a lot of the young guys are out there at Terrytown getting ready for the next season. So Cam to me is going to be here, and it's going to depend on the team that how they restructure this team. If we get and I'm not saying this hopefully this can happen, but if we could get rid of a Burks, we could get rid of Noel, if possibly we can move on from Fournier, if we could possibly move on from Randall and Kimba, we can have a whole new crew here next year. We can have 8 young guys that we have here right now, bring in 2 or 3 more young guys, and still keep one or 2 veterans like Taj Gibson and a D Rose. And still have D Rose and we'll probably have to pick up another guy or 2 or something like that. But D Rose, Taj, and Deuce would be like our secondary players, depending on how they make these moves. Now, me personally, I think there's a big chance that the New York Knicks move Julius Randle and take on Eric Bledsoe, and there's another guy on the team, I can't remember his name right now, and get that 7th pick and move on from Julius Randle. And that 7th pick, I think that is a possibility that we could get 1 or 2 guys. I think my first choice is Mathurin. I like this guy, Ben Mathurin. I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be a LIS, like a Donovan Mitchell. Drive to the hole, throw it on you, can shoot the jump shot, can play some defense. I think that's one of the guys. And I think the other guy is Dyson Davis. I think he's another guy that it needs to be mentioned. This guy is a big, tall guy that can play some defense. Not a great shooter, but in a Thibodeau type system, his defense and his smartness on the court would be very great. I think he could be a very great player under the tutelage of Tom Thibodeau and the way Tom Thibodeau likes a big guy, 6'7", long arms, defensive minded, can rebound the ball. Not a great shooter, but he can rebound and he can play defense and he can get assists. And if we could keep our 11th pick, I think we got a good shot at Tyree Eason, which is a very good guy that I like. But the guy that I really want would be Shohan. If we could get Shohan and Ben Davis in here with this young crew, for the next 2-3 years, we could, we probably could be saying something in the next couple, in the next couple of years. Let this team get together now. By next year, they get even better. The contract year is coming up. It'll be one of the bigger contract years coming up, and see what we can do if we really want to take some of these young guys after we done built their stock up like an IQ. IQ is only worth $2. He probably get us to $2 million now. But in 2 years, that $2 million he'll be playing hopefully like a $12 million player, $14 million player. So when we go to trade somebody to get somebody back, we don't have to give up the whole farm. We could give up two guys now instead of giving up 4 guys. Like to say what 4 guys. I mean 2 guys instead of 4 guys like right now.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, man, it's some interesting things I had. That's why, now I was wondering with Cam Reddish why he need to be a part of the thing. Because you think about this here, the other day, you had the Knicks contingent out there scouting Jaden Ivey, right? But who was sitting next to them while they were scouting Jaden Ivey? The Sacramento Kings contingent. You know what I mean? Who's to say that the Knicks say, okay, Sacramento, if you draft Jaden Ivey, we'll take Ivy, you take Randall, and whoever, you give us whoever got to go in that deal. So you got, knowing that the Knicks was out there scouting Jaden Ivey, sitting right next to them with the Sacramento Kings contingent. Not that don't mean them. They just could be having seats together. But you just never know what happens with stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I really believe that there's gonna be some wheeling and dealing going on out there for sure. I don't know which way it's gonna go, but I think the Knicks gonna do something to get this team to get them in a better situation to compete and move forward, whether with youth or whatever. But I do like the Keegan Murray, man. That boy is special. Be cool.
Keegan is nice too.
Yeah, he one of them guys. Ain't a lot of people talk about it. I think that boy's gonna be a real solid NBA pro.
I think he's going. I think he's going top 3, maybe 5. I think he may go 5, but I think he's going to be in the top 3. I think he's going to change some people's minds, man. I wish I had my paperwork and everything with me. I think I got him number 3 going out in the 3rd pick. I think Paolo is 2, and I think what's the other the big long lanky guy, Hogum. Yeah, I think he's going to go number 1. I think. So it's some things out there, some guys out there after the top 3, after the top really 4 players. Any one of these players that we're talking about right now can range right into our dropping spot, man. We got it's a whole lot of who says who. It all depends on who when they pick and who's still on the board. I think a lot of teams are going to go for players that they need, not for the best play out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's interesting with the Portland and Sacramento thing, they willing to move them picks. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that could change the whole landscape of this draft with them guys, and especially for the New York Knicks, if they're looking to do what we hear them talking about. Like I said, if you're gonna put Julius Randle in the package, if that's the case, it might not even be the case, but just say hypothetically, they're gonna put Julius Randle in the package. Somebody like Sacramento who can use him with De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, put Sabonis at the 5. And let Randall play the power forward with De'Aaron Fox. You got Davion Mitchell there. We might have to take Harrison Barnes' contract for a year. But
that'll be all right.
Right, you get that 4th pick, then you move up and get you a solid player. You know what I mean? That could be part of this thing moving forward. So it's gonna be interesting to see. So with RJ and Cam Reddish extension coming up, whether they're gonna, I know RJ will be here. Cam Reddish, I'm not sure what they're gonna do with that. I hope he be here or not. But after that, the bigger elephant in the room for me is gonna be Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly is he gonna be coming right now for an concern. He is the point guard job to lose. You ask me. I think right now he could be probably one of the better point guards on the Knicks, other than obviously Derrick Rose. You know what I mean? Who's a point guard, but I think Emmanuel Quickly, it's gonna be his spot to lose next year. So I do think that Emmanuel Quickly gonna come in here in the off season and try to get a popping for the Knicks. You know what I mean? And see if they can let that young man get a chance to go in there along with RJ Barrett. I think RJ. I would like to see Cam Reddish as well coming up next, and then Emmanuel Quickly. I like to see these 3 guys really be about this thing next year for the Knicks, man. I'm looking forward to Emmanuel Quickly taking another step in his career. I think he's going to be fine with what he can do and what he can do. I think he's going to take another step in his career. So, But as of right now, I think he's the guy. He's one of the guys you got to beat out of the point guard spot this year. Shot Powell. I think right now he's the best one that we got to me. Like I said, other than Derrick Rose. So we're gonna see how it goes with Emmanuel quickly. But he's in there putting the work in though, and I'm hoping that it's gonna resonate on the court. And if we got a good point guard in New York, combo guard.
I got high hopes for IQ this year. I believe he's going to be our starter this year. I really don't see nobody that we really going to go out and really get. I think the Brunson deal, I don't think they're going to go all in on Brunson. I don't think this guy, Tyus Jones, is really going to be the guy that we're looking for. There may be some type of trade things out, but I'm not sure if they're going to go. But there's some D'Angelo Russell members out there and stuff like that. So I mean, there's some things out there. But what I would prefer, and there's also where's my man KJ at? There's also that thing out there for Westbrook out there for that 1 year, throwing 3 or 4 guys over to the Lakers. There's always that option too to take them for 1 year and get that money back next year. So I believe that the starting point guard that we're going to have next year is going to be IQ. And I believe the man that's coming off the bench for IQ is going to be Deuce. I think this is the year that Deuce is going to be put out there to see what he can really produce. And with him having 1 year under his belt, not much playing time as being a New York Knick, he's not a rookie anymore. You know what I mean? And he may get a little bit more time because from the word of mouth that Tibbs was one of the guys that looked at him, and he is a defensive guy. He's a little shorter on it, but he's a little shorter, but his wingspan is like 6'10". So he has some long defensive arms, and he's an ex-quarterback, so he can see people, man. He can see people coming down the court. He can make that pass, when you need it. So I think that our starting, if we really going to run this team back and run as everyone say that quote unquote young unit, I think IQ will be our starter and Deuce will be our second man, and we'll have D Rose on the bench just in case, break glass if needed.
Yeah, real talk. I think to me, you got to go into the all season right now. Think of that, just the way the team is structured right now, barring any trade, barring any drafting. I think if you were to go into next season with the same team, Emmanuel could have got to start for the Knicks.
Yep.
He got to start for the Knicks, man. No Alice Burks, no this, no that. Just get in, start Emmanuel quickly. So it's going to be interesting, man. A lot of people don't think the Knicks might move Julius Randle, but I really believe that's a 50-50 to me right there. Not that I want him to be traded. I don't want him to be traded, but because of what can go on for the next 4 years, I just don't know if that's gonna. We say this all the time. I know it's like beating the dead horse, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to put up with all this stuff with the Knicks fans. I don't see that.
I'm right there with you, Devon, on that one. I trust in Julius Randle. I like Julius Randle's game. That 25, 10, and 5 is no question, man. He's number 3. He was the third. 3 people in the league did those numbers and stuff like that last year. So he is a quality player. But for us now, and this is how I feel, man. And I'm talking to real Knicks fans because I know how I feel. So I know it has to be maybe 1 or 2 other people that think like this. We put Julius Randle as being our quote unquote number 1 player on the team. The year that we had that 41 game season, he was our number 1. But is Julius Randle really a number 1? Is Julius Randle really the guy that's going to be able to take you to the fourth quarter with 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock? We down by 1 point, and is he going to be the one to make that big shot? Now he has done that, but he did do it before, but he hasn't done it recently. And I know as a Knicks fan, I know how bad us as Knicks fans, how we can be, man. We are the biggest conglomerate of fan base that is out there. We got New York Knicks all over the place, and all is going to take. I don't want Julius to go through this. This is what I don't want, because I like Julius, man. I don't want him to go through this. If he think that he can surpass this, the New York Knicks fan base, he goes into he comes in this year, and he's playing somewhat similar to the slow down type of game that we've been playing, the ISO ball, the high turnover ratio and stuff like that. And he's not producing. And the Knicks fans on a 3-game hiatus of him not having a great game start to scream out, "OB Toppin, OB Toppin," and that gets in his head 12, 15 games into the season. How's that going to affect him? You know what I mean? And then once we start doing that, and Obi Toppin now is not getting the minutes that a lot of us Knicks fans think that Obi Toppin should get 18 to 20 minutes a game if he's not going to be a starter. What's going to happen with Julius Randle, man? The New York Knicks fan base, man, I love y'all guys, every last one of us, because we speak right out our mouth if we like you or we don't like you. And it's not like I don't like him. I think it's the fit with me right now. The first year that it was here, we were, maybe I'm just bugging, but the first year when he came in, when he was doing that 360 move in the paint, trying to lay the ball up and stuff like that, that famous 360 move that he kept doing in the paint, everybody wanted Julius Randle out that year. He came back next year and he proved himself. He became an all-star. He became that 24, 12, and 6 or something like that. He was an all-star, you know what I mean? And last year he didn't live up to that all-star status after he got paid. So as a Knicks fan, if he's here, I'm with him because he wear that blue and green. I mean, he wear that blue and orange, man. I'm with him no matter what. But these Knicks fans ain't gonna be easy on Julius Randle, man. They're not gonna be easy on him. And if he don't come out and perform, I think it's gonna be some he's gonna have a real hard season, man.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's the only quagmire I have with the whole thing is that not about his game, not about his numbers, not about the turnovers. It's about after going through what he went through last year, is he going to be able to maintain without the Knicks fans starting to get on him and start causing all this drama, and then next thing you know, we back to where we was at. That's the reason why you got to move Randle if you can get a chance, not to put him in a better place for his career. Randle ain't gonna want to go through New York for the next 4 years, going through all this noise. You know what I mean? All the nonsense. He ain't gonna want to go through that. Him and his family. You know what I mean? And so you know, it could be sometimes nothing wrong with it, with splitting up a marriage or breaking up with your girlfriend, whatever. Shit just ain't working out. You got to go the other way, and maybe it might be good for Randle to go the other way and let Obi Toppin come in there, get some shine, get his thing going, and Randle go out somewhere he could be with somebody where he's not the number one. He could be the number two. That's why I like the Portland thing. Can you imagine him playing with Damian Lillard? He got somebody who he gonna have the respect on that court. And so when they double teaming Damian Lillard, my man Julius Randle can eat things like that. You know, it's a win-win for both organizations, for the Knicks and for Portland. So things like that you got to keep in consideration. You know, they can make it happen. So you know, but other than that, man, Emmanuel Quickly, like I said, I think he should be coming to the season right now at the starting point guard, unless you go out there and get somebody that's better than him. But as of right now, the way this team constructed, they can't come back. Like Emil said, they can't come back here with that same team and the way it is constructed. I just don't think that makes no sense. You know what I mean? So let's see how Emmanuel Quickly go, man. He get it popping this year. His stats was pretty decent last year. He didn't have a bad year stat-wise. He had pretty much the same number he had the year before, Shot Powell. It wasn't too much different with Emmanuel Quickly. His numbers are pretty decent, you know. But like I said, everybody shot the ball bad this year. You know, he scored 11 points a game this year, 11 point a game, just like last year. Same amount of field goal attempts, same amount of shots made. He shot like terrible, like everybody else. He shot 39%. You got to get that up though. You know, he shot 34%, and he shoot better than that from three. So, but he did improve in a lot of other areas in his career, man. He was starting to the playmaking was getting better, and I think once he caught on Shot Powell, once he caught on to the referees, the way the league ref the game this year. Once Emmanuel Quickly caught on to that, like James Harden, all them guys who was getting them easy buckets for them fouls. At the beginning of the year, he didn't catch on to it. You know, the adjustment of the way the refs was calling the game. But later on in the year, he kind of caught on to it. Then he started playing better.
Yeah, I believe the one thing in the beginning of the year that kind of hampered IQ a little bit was when D Rose went down. When D Rose went down, IQ got more on his plate, and at one part of the season, it was a big jump for him from having someone to play off of instead of him being the one to play off of, if that makes sense. You know, he didn't have to, with D Rose on the court, he could pass the ball to D Rose and move away and not be the center of attention. But when D Rose went down, he became more of the center of attention. And as the season progressed, I believe he got better. He got better with the way he seen people, the way that he got into the lane, the way that he shot the ball. After the All-Star break, I think he was. I say this, and I say this at the beginning of the year. We all call IQ a guard per se, shooting guard or a point guard. But towards the end of the season, for me, IQ ran the team, man. I thought he was a point guard. He ran the team. He kept the team with pace. He did things that the team needed, and you know he's deadly at the free throw line. You know what I mean? He didn't get to the free throw line as much, but he started figuring out how to get to the line by using his body. And people say that he didn't make too many moves to the hole and stuff like that. Last year he had a teardrop. This year it was more of a jump shot. It was more of a arcing shot instead of a teardrop. You know what I mean? So he changed the game around a little bit, and you can see that with his assists and his rebounds. You know, his percentage-wise shooting, was about even, and he averaged about the same amount of points that he did last year, but his rebounds went up. His assist rate went up, especially after the All-Star break. So me personally, from the All-Star break to the end of the season, if that's the way IQ is going to play, I would like him to be our starting point guard for next year.
Yeah, facts. I mean, I agree with you 100%, man. Familiarity, he gotten better. Young cat, only making $2.7 million a year. Then the next year, $4 million. Man, you know that when you get somebody doing that with the number that they got, he may come into the league having 11 points a game, and he only making $2 million. That's decent. And plus else with the other things that he could do. And I think he's gonna be here. You know, like going into training camp, it's gonna be a job to lose unless you bring in somebody that's really gonna be show and prove. You know, whether somebody already established or whether it was an Ivy or somebody who's gonna beat him out. But I guarantee you, quickly gonna be in training camp like, yo, y'all got to either beat me for this, and that's what you want it to be. It's about competition. You know what I mean? When they get in training camp, you're gonna want to have to go at either. If you want the job, I'm gonna take it from you. If I want the job, I'm taking it from you. And hopefully that's his mindset. You know, like either way it go. If Tibbs said you got a chance to come in here and be the starting point guard for the Knicks, make somebody beat you for it. You know what I mean? And if Tibbs say that this guy gonna be the starting point guard, man, the quick guy say, well, I'm about to take your job. You know what I mean? And I think that's what competition is all about. If you don't got that competitive edge and that competitive fire to beat the next man out, then maybe you don't deserve to have that spot. You know what I mean? Because it is about the competition, no matter what. Whether you're playing against your team or you playing against a team that you're going against, you're still playing against competition. Let's hope that Emmanuel Quickly game comes to fruition another year. I think he's going to be fine going into his third year. I think you're going to see some good things for him and Obi Toppin coming in their third year. So I'm excited about it. And having Deuce McBride back there to go up against a practice and Grimes to go up against them defensive-minded guys, only going to make them guys better. So when the Emmanuel Quickly got to go up and practice against guys like McBride, who's a defender, Grimes, who's a defender, that only going to make you better because now you're going up against cats, you know, that can defend. So when you get on the court in the regular season, you ain't gonna be worried about nobody. Listen, I was going up against this dude in practice. If I can go up against him in practice and put the work in, I ain't worried about a lot of you guys who's going to be on my opposing point guard, my opposing guard in front of me, just due to the fact that the guy that I face every day is just as good as you defensively. So yeah, I think that's going to be important, and I think that's what's going to help that man's game grow even more. For sure. But I'm really looking forward to what he's going to do. I'm going to his third year. Him and Obi Toppin, I like that tandem, man. I just think that's a good tandem right there. They play well with each other. They get each other easy buckets. They know where each other at. Obi Toppin's game is going to be predicated on how good he be as well to me. So let's hope that man can go in there and get it. But I'm excited about him, man. I really hope he be around as well. I like when the Knicks drafted pretty well these last 5 years. He started with Mitchell Robinson. He drafted pretty well, so I'm really excited about man to see what he's gonna do moving forward.
Yeah, I got high hopes of IQ, man. I think he's a dog, man, and he likes that. He wants to be that guy. He wants to be that type of guy. I believe this year, if he can fine tune his decision making, for me, I think that's one of the biggest things. A lot of times this year, he dribbled maybe just a extra 4 or 5 dribbles, or he may have missed 2 or 3 passes that he could have made, or when he did make the pass, it wasn't the exact pass that he should have made. But he has a low turnover ratio. You know what I mean? High assist, low turnover ratio. He's starting to keep his head up and look out, for what's going on. And I think IQ, I think he has the capabilities right now. He come in maybe a little 10, 15 pounds, hit the gym a little bit more, pick up a little bit more decision making and stuff like that. I think he'll be a threat. If he could come in this year and give us 14 points, 5 or 6 rebounds and 6 or 7 assists, I think that's a potent punch right there at the starting point guard position.
Yeah. That's why I'm curious about the draft, because I do think that we got a lot of guards on this team. We already got plenty of guards. You know what I mean? If you look at IQ, Grimes, Quickly, McBride, really truly Alex Burks is a guard. Derrick Rose is a guard. You almost right there got over 5 or 6 guards already. Yeah, actually, you do got 6 guards. So it's interesting to see if they don't do any wheeling dealing. Do you think they're gonna go for wings in the draft? Say, we think IQ. Obviously, if Ivy there, you got to get and try to just get and do what you got to do and all that stuff. But I think the Knicks might go more wing driven positions, like maybe at the small and power forward situation, depending on what they do with the guy they got now. But they move some of the guys they got now. I think you're going to really get some. Like me, I want somebody 6'10" and 6'11" who just can do it. Yeah, right. So, we need a bit of lift down there who could get it. You know what I mean?
Type it easy.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting to see, man, what they do with that. But quickly, Cam and RJ, I hope they be back with the Knicks next year, coming to the season. And these guys get to show what they can do, man, and help make the Knicks be relevant. But I think we're gonna get back to where we were at. We had an all-season with injury, Derrick Rose, Nerlens Noel, and all the guys. So it did take a little sting out of the season because we depend on those guys to be a big part of this thing. Obviously, Kemba Walker didn't help us out any. So having them 3 guys out, it just didn't do nothing for them. We didn't make it in the playoffs. So, but now we're gonna go one way or the other. If we're gonna go to try to get to the playoff direction, that change. We're gonna try to say, you know what? Let's go a little bit of youth movement, sprinkle a bit of veterans in there, but still try to fight to get in the play-in in the playoffs. I think they can go that way as well. So it's going to be interesting. But what I want to get into now is the New York Knicks had hired the Shajana Diop for the G League coach. He's coaching the G League. Shajana Diop is a veteran, been around the NBA for a while, played about 11, 12, 13. He played in the NBA a long time, rugged big man. But what's interesting about that, he also coached in Utah. You know what I mean? Coached in Utah with Donovan Mitchell, just like Johnny Bryant. Now Walt Perrin was there. So you got 3 guys that's in the Knicks in the organization that all played coached in Utah and also played with coached with Donovan Mitchell. So we know you sometimes you don't want to put no hyperbole out there, but to me that's interesting. Walt Perrin drafted him, Johnny Bryant coached him, Diop coached him, and the Knicks got all 3 of them here. You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting to see how that would go down. That Donovan Mitchell thing is kind of interesting, guys, real talk, because you just don't never know how that thing might pan out. Not saying he leaving, not saying he going. But it's definitely interesting to have all the CAA connection. And it's all the stars all aligned like Donovan Mitchell could be in New York, man. You just never know, Shot Powell. But the way things looking, there's a very good possibility that can happen.
I mean, there's some trades out there because they're already talking about moving on from Gobert over here. Gobert's, there's some things out there saying that Gobert's got, Miami. You got who was it? Miami. It's like 2 or 3 teams that Atlanta. There was I seen something out there about him for Capella and a couple of picks or something like that, and him coming to Atlanta. So if they are kind of ready to move off of one of those big guys, off of Gobert, maybe they might be ready to blow it up a little bit and give up Donovan Mitchell as well. I mean, I would love to see Donovan Mitchell in a New York Knicks uniform, coming down. But as we all know, this Knicks fan, if we go to make a Donovan Mitchell trade, some of our young guys are not going to be here. All right, so let's be prepared for that too. You know, we may not see IQ, Grimes, Cam Reddish. You know what I mean? Those guys probably be some moving parts and to trying to get Cam Reddish, and that's only three. I think it's maybe a Julius Randle or Fournier plus about 2 or 3 first-round draft picks for this year's draft pick maybe. Next year, Mavericks pick, and if we could give up 2 or 3 second-round picks, I mean, you know, just be prepared. I would love to see him here, though. He would bring electricity into the Garden, you know what I mean? And with his game set, I think he can help us at ending game, at the end of the game, closing out games and stuff like that. He's a big-time shot maker, and he's a big-time shot producer. So I'm not opposed to seeing Donovan Mitchell here, you know what I mean? And with all the connections that you just mentioned, Divine, you know, that may be one of the big moves. The one thing that I know that a lot of Knicks fans and I think is we may need a superstar here, man. We may need someone that can really like electrify us and hit those big shots and coming down the clutch. Someone that can you know, you could depend on scoring and stuff like that. So we see what happens, man. There's a lot of things out there, and we see what we want to do with a lot of these things, a lot of these players that we want to move to.
Yeah. You know, for me, with the Mitchell thing is interesting, and this how my thoughts will relate with that. You know, Utah Jazz, they long they still got Rudy Gobert and Conley and all them guys. They're not looking to rebuild, but what they can do is bring in some players that'll help them now.
Retool. Retool.
At the same time, a year from now, like you think about it, Evan Fournier out there, Alice Brooks played with Utah, right? Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert, French connection. Here's the good thing about that for Utah: them players' money come off the books.
Yep.
So even if you got to throw 3 picks in there or 2-3 picks or whatever, Evan Fournier, Alice Burks, 2 or 3 picks. I don't know if you necessarily destroy the future because you think about this here. If we get better, then them picks are gonna be kind of down in the low, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's not gonna be a big deal to me. But I think if you can get him here, and you don't mess with the infrastructure moving forward. So if you can give him the Dallas pick, because you know Dallas pick now that them picks ain't gonna be that high. They in the playoffs now.
Yeah, they're gonna be 20. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As long as Luka Doncic here, them picks gonna be in the 20s. You know what I mean? And then so even with a couple if you had to throw one of our picks in there, that you know you had to look at it. But you know, I granted he's built for this place here. You know what I mean? And I think guys like him and RJ can feed off each other well. And with the news that the Knicks might most likely bring Mitchell Robinson back, you got Obi Toppin there. He only 20. What Donovan Mitchell? What 25, 26, 25, something like that. He fits the timeline.
Yeah, he's like 25. Yeah,
he fits the timeline. You know, he fit the timeline. Mitch about 24 to be 25. RJ would be 22. Obi would be about 24. You know, he'd be about 25. You know, they young veterans. Like he's a young veteran now. Mitchell Robinson, believe it or not, is a young veteran. So it kind of fits the timeline,
yes,
guys. You know what I mean? And if you can get him without salvage and everything. And think about it. Even though he's not that dude that you may consider carrying, that don't mean they can't go get one a couple of years from now. You know what I mean? So I mean, you look what Jimmy Butler doing with the Miami Heat. He ain't got no superstars around him. He's that dude with a bunch of, you know, good players. And them cats about to go. They one game away from going to the finals again. So sometimes, you know, you can have a lot of elite guys, man, but elite don't always pull you over the top. You got to have talent. Don't get me wrong. You need talented players. But I look at the way if you put the right players around a good player, and I think him and RJ could work well together. And I like both of them because they know how to get downhill. You know, and I think that thing would be fun to watch in New York for me.
Yeah, you're so true about that, man. If we could run, my big thing is trying to get this crew and running them for about another 2 years together, so all of these guys can implement themselves with each other. You know, 2 more years with an IQ, with a Obi Toppin, with a Mitchell Robinson, with for RJ Barrett 2 years like that, I think that's a big look right there, and I think that's something that we need to look into. And if we're on the road of going young and going with this young movement that we're talking about, I think that's the way to go. Devon, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Real talk, man. You had to take it into consideration. Like I said, just because you get that piece don't mean it's the end all be all. He might be just one piece of the puzzle. And like I said, sometimes it's about the money. You might get a player don't want to keep. You just want to get the money off the books. That way you can take that money and go get the player you really want. So like I said, if you did get Evan Fournier, the reason why I think they would do Evan Fournier and Burks, because number one, they both be used. They both got talent. But the key part of you take Evan Fournier and Alex Burks, at the end of that year, you saving $28 million, the same amount of money that you had with Mitchell. So now you pretty much take $28 million, you freed it. Now you can take that money and go get the player that you really want. So it might not look from a talent perspective. Alex Burks is not a scrub. He's not a scrub, and I don't think Fournier's a scrub. But I think the fact of the money, they got 3 future picks, and they get to get Donovan Mitchell money off the books, just like Julius Randle. The reason why I said if you move Julius Randle for Portland and you throw in a bunch of aspirants when Eric Bledsoe's contract is up or whoever, then you got Julius Randle 117 off the books. So sometimes it might not be about the player's talent. It might be about the contract, because these guys are in position to wheel and deal to get themselves better or bring in another player. So sometimes it might not be the talent, it might be the contract, because it is a business. You know what I mean? And if you could get 28 million off the books in 1 year or half a year by the trading deadline, then you say, you know what? And I got 3 future first round picks. They might look at it as a win-win. You know what I mean? Because you don't know who else going to give you that. You're not guaranteed to get that for somebody else. So it definitely will be interesting to see. But I think Donovan Mitchell was a very interesting situation moving forward this summer. A lot of connections to New York, Westchester, Connecticut. Dad, like I said, managing the New York Mets organization. So we definitely got. But I don't have no problem bringing Donovan Mitchell to New York. I mean, I'll never forget a couple of years ago when him and Jamal Murray, man, was going at it in the bubble. Them was getting down, bro. Each of them cats were dropping 50 on each other every other night. I mean, and just because, now that maybe Utah didn't get to go the way they wanted to go, it not necessarily mean that was Donovan Mitchell's fault. You know what I mean? Just that the team, they didn't achieve what they supposed to achieve. You got to move on. But I like what he brings to the table. So if the Knicks can get him without mortgage in their whole future, him and RJ Barrett can be part of that cornerstone thing, bring him on, man. Then you just need one solid big wing like White Sox was saying. Go get a solid wing, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", who can get it popping for you. And that's if Julius Randle not here, for sure. Man, KJ, you back in the building? But yeah, man, we'll see how it goes, man. But Donovan Mitchell, like I said, that's interesting having Deshaun Guap, who talked to coach with him in Utah, Johnny Bryant, who coached with him in Utah, Walt Perrin drafted him. You know what I mean? KJ, and I just think that's an interesting look with Donovan Mitchell. It seems like all the stars trying to align or something.
Yeah, and again, if we can get a guy, Donovan Mitchell, it's a once in a lifetime situation, because we haven't seen it like that. So if it's a deal out to get him, we must get him. We may not see it up something. It's been before that was Ewing. So it's like we keep missing these stars here, and we could have got this guy here. So again, if we can get a guy like Donovan Mitchell here, let's go ahead and bring him here. As long as we don't lose RJ and build around 2-3 people, I'm fine for it. Because if we look in the current NBA right now, people are being built. People are being built from within. But a guy like Donovan Mitchell is a guy you must get if you can get him, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too, man. I agree with you, man. He electrify Broadway.
I'm 100% with that too, man. If there's a move to be made for Donovan Mitchell and they can jump on it and spring onto it, I see no reason why not to try to do it. We cringe right here for New York to have a star type player here, and if we can get Donovan Mitchell, there's no way that you can say that Donovan Mitchell is not a star.
Yeah. If he wasn't a star, they wouldn't have given him the money. First of all, let's clear all that up. If Donovan Mitchell wasn't a star, Utah wouldn't have given him the money. You know what I mean? You don't give money to people who you don't think worthy of it. Donovan Mitchell was worthy of that. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a system you playing in. Sometimes it's just the way things go. But you can't tell me that man ain't no talent, though. You know what I mean? And he got drive in him that's unbelievable. So I would love to see him down here in New York. Him and RJ. RJ got somebody like that who makes the game different than Julius Randle because the ball is not being stagnant. They can play off each other. And I think with Obi Toppin there and if they bring Mitchell Robinson back, would it look like they might? And all you do is put that dude in that third spot, whether it's Cam Reddish or somebody else, maybe be somebody else. I don't know, but Donovan Mitchell, R.J. Barrett, and that other dude, I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I mean, if Julius Randle had this R.J. Barrett, Donovan Mitchell, Julius Robinson, who knows? I mean, Julius Randle, I meant to say. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what go on with that, man. Like I said, I just wanted to put that out there because, like I said, when I heard they hired my man for the G League coach, like they're bringing all his peoples around us. You know what I mean?
A Devon and Shaw also, if you think about it, like our program, our G League program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our training facility. How we develop our player development. Do you think the Knicks player development is one of the best in the league, or could it be? If you look at a guy like a Sims, a Grimes, and Nick McBride, we're still on that measuring stick. And to me, I think we're finally measuring, we're developing these guys here right now. So again, it's one of them things. If we got those three guys, and I'm looking at, and I know I'm jumping over. I know you guys talked about a lot, but I'm just going from the draft. We got 11 and 4 and 42. If we are developing all these people here, and we developing, let's trade these picks out and bring in people that's already solidified already, because we got a good development stick. In my mind, I think the Knicks have a good player development staff, and players are being developed here. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, KJ. 100%, he's spot on with that, man. But for me, it's like I just answered Mel Phillips' chat. I think the most important about that thing is, I said, Danny Ainge would love 3 first-round picks. You know what I mean? And expiring contracts. Evan Fournier is not a scrub. He can play ball. You know what I mean? He just don't fit the Knicks, but he can play ball. You know what I mean? I think the most important thing is this here. Can you imagine if they get rid of Donovan Mitchell, right? And they start saying, we're going to kind of go into a rebuild. Now you got 3 first-round picks and you got some expiring contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, you got rid of Donovan Mitchell contract and you got 3 first-round picks. And I'm only assuming that's what I would do. That don't mean that's what they're going to do. They might want this. They might not want none I'm even talking about. It's not really. I'm just using an analogy that can be a possible situation is that Utah get to get Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert, a Frenchman. They got a good connection. They play together. They know the game. How many points Donovan Mitchell made this year? About 23, 25 points a game. Well, Alex Burks and Evan Fournier together is about the same thing. You know what I mean? But you got 3 first-round picks. You got expiring money. That's an important part of this thing, man. Or they might want something more. They might want something better than that. They might not even want Evan Albert. They might want him and Julius Randle. For all we know. I don't know what they would take for him, but that just started to say that it's possible to get the man down here. But we'll see, man, because I love to see him here in New York. I think he fit this city real well. Shot Powers, he got that in him to play here. He's from here, so he's familiar with this thing, man. I think he'll make it happen down here.
I mean, you already then had the thing on Twitter about him hanging out with Donovan Mitchell, IQ and Donovan Mitchell, and I think they're about to do some type of sneaker commercial or something like that. And they was at his house, and they've been representing, and he, all it takes is a little something out there, just a little piece out there to let the rumors start to unfold. So I mean, like I said, we haven't had a superstar, and we haven't had a superstar in the New York Knicks since maybe Melo, if you really want to say it like that. So I would love to see him come over here and represent for the New York Knicks in that orange and blue.
Yeah, real talk, yo. On that note, man, salute to me 7-0, man. Happy birthday, Carmelo Anthony. Me 7-0, his birthday, man. Salute to him, man. We wait for you to get back in the orange and blue uniform one day, my brother. Retired after the year, so salute to you. Real talk, man. That's my guy there. But yeah, man, it's interesting to see how it's going to pan out with this whole thing, man. But I'm excited about the draft. I'm excited about the direction of the franchise moving forward. We just got to do what we're going to do with the Julius Randle thing. We got to do what we're going to do with some of these veterans that we have. Are we going to move on for some of them? Kind of put some other veterans around them, and better than the ones we have, and then we go with the youth thing and try to do like these other guys do, man. A lot of these teams like KJ, like I said, you look at Boston, they drafted their guy, they still together playing ball. You look at a lot of teams that's still in there, like
Golden State,
they drafted them guy, they put some guys around, they still in there balling. And that's pretty fun to see. The Miami Heat out there didn't draft Jimmy Butler, but Tyler Hero, Adebayo, they drafted these guys, and they still here conforming something real special. And that's why I'm hoping that we don't get rid of the R.J. Barretts and the Mitchell Robinsons and the Emmanuel Quinn and the Obi Toppin, because we drafted them. We want to see these guys build something, some camaraderie, some chemistry, and build something that you can say, when we get to the playoffs, we got there with the guy that we drafted. And that's why I'm really looking forward to these guys, hoping these guys stay around and put some more savvy people around them and help them grow together and make them get themselves better. And we could be in the same position like Memphis Grizzlies and all these guys for sure.
Hey, Devon and Shy, you know what this feels like? Because this is unmarked territory to us. We haven't seen this in such a long time. And the last time we pretty much seen a young core like this was the Wilson Chandler, the David Lee, the Channing Fries, the Nate Robinsons, when we said, you know what, we're going to keep the team together. Then we broke that team up. And I'm pretty sure with some more players on there. So it feels like that feeling because we're in the what if, we don't know. Now, I'm pretty sure all the Knicks players are hearing these talks on Knicks Real Talk and the other podcasts out there about bring this player in. But again, we got 3 guys last year in Grimes, Sims, and McBride, who I think played very well. And my thing with them is, what if they come back next year? And I know they're going to come back way better than what they were. So this is why I said we got to be a little careful about who we draft. And again, if we're drafting, I believe the Knicks will make a deal to move up in the draft to get somebody they really want. Because if it's a guy at 11, again, we got 3 guys right now. How is this new person going to beat those 3 guys I just named? And then an IQ, then an Obi Toppin, then a Cam Reddish. So my thing is, if it's someone out there for the Knicks to get, go ahead and grab. But I believe the guys that I just named between McBride, Grimes, and Sims, they're going to come back 10 times better than what they were last year. Especially a guy like McBride, who played the least out of both of those 2 that were drafted. So my thing is, Knicks move up in the draft, get that Jordan Ivy, who I really hope they get. If they can't, we'll see what we can do. But other than that, I'm very happy about the kids that we do got. I believe those kids that we got, they're a good stepping stone for what we're trying to get to.
Hey, let me ask you a question, KJ and Shy all the time. Even with the youth movement that we got going on, do you still think if we bring in certain types of players that this team still can move forward to the playoffs? If you look at the 8 guys we got, add the right veterans around. I'm not saying the veterans we had that wasn't right, but do you think that with the youth movement that we have, maybe sprinkling a couple of savvy players and one good player in the trade, do you think we can go further than we went this year?
Absolutely. Again, it's one of them things, Devon and Shaw. We missed 2 guys. We're going to keep saying this. We missed D-Rose and Nolan's Noel. And we weren't that far away. So obviously, absolutely, you bring in 2 guys that was all year round, we should be number 6, 4 to 6 easily, in my opinion.
What about you, Shaw?
I believe I'm me personally, I'm full 100%. Let's go young and see where this team takes us. I think that the 8 players that we have on the team right now has played together a couple of years, and so I think they're ready to elevate their games. I think I'm hoping that every last one of these guys that we get back this year comes back with the heart and the body and the mind and being ready to do whatever they can do to make this team better. I think Obi's going to elevate his game. I think he's going to change up a little bit of his jump shot. I think RJ is going to come in here. I think he's going to get his jump shot, his mid-range together, and his free throws together. I think IQ is going to get a better ball handling skill for himself. I think he's going to get out there and put pace to the basketball team. And if we get Mitchell Robinson back, man, that's going to be our solidifier on our defense, man. All it's going to take is for us to find out what we're going to do with the other 2 moves. I mean, what we're going to do with the rest of the team that we got out there and stuff like that. With the Burks and the Noels and on and so forth and stuff. to see where we're going to go forward. If you want to keep some veterans on the team, the two best veterans that I think Tibbs would love to have here is Taj and D Rose. If we keep any two veterans on this team, I think those are the two veterans that we probably going to hold on to. Taj Gibson, breaking and Derrick Rose. I think those are the two guys. And on top of that, both of their contracts are on aspiring contracts as well. So we keep them for 1 year, see what happens, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, hey Ron, I agree with you 100%. Yo, salute to Ron and John Steele, man. Make sure y'all hit the brothers up, man. Like, subscribe, go check out the brothers' channel. Ron and John always in the building dropping that content, man. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out. But yeah, I agree, man. We do need to get back to having fun, working together on the court, man. Because it's important that you do that, man. That continuity, chemistry, and camaraderie is real important when you put a basketball team on the floor. Because I don't care how many people you got, you ain't got that continuity. It don't mean nothing. That's why I'm more open to the Knicks bringing a lot of these guys back, because they got continuity. They know how each other play. They know their ins and outs in the locker room, all that good stuff, man. So I think it's important that you keep that key chemistry there, KJ, because that's how we roll on Knicks Real Talk. We got chemistry here. You know what I mean? We got commodity, so we know what it is, and that's why it works well for. But that's like a basketball team. It got to work well. Everybody know each other. They know how to play together. They know each other's tendencies, their weaknesses, their strengths. They know where everybody like their ball at. That's real important when you're on a basketball court, man. Because if you don't have that, it's just like add up to being successful, basically.
Right. And again, if us as Knicks fans or Knicks Real Talk family, if we all went back, right, and looked at all 82 games, right, and we really thought about this team, and we look at the assessment of this team, we can say what really happened. And the biggest thing, and I've been saying it all year, we was too inconsistent. It's not like that we didn't have players that could put the ball in the rim and couldn't score and couldn't play defense. It's just that the inconsistency wasn't there. And that was the biggest issue. Too many missed free throws. And then, again, players like a Julius Randle, who we thought was, who we wanted to be, he wasn't that far. So, to me, the Knicks are not that far away to get where we at. Again, to me, I thought we backed up with Boston. Look what Boston's at right now. Game 7. To me, that could be the New York Knicks right now. The East is wide open. We handled them well this year, Again, the first game of the year, the best game of the year for the New York Knicks, in my opinion. We see what can happen. And, again, we had some spurts where we were good and a lot of spurts where we were bad, but we weren't that far off. So, again, if you think, to your point, Devon, the biggest problem was that backcourt of Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. That was the biggest issue. And, again, if we would have had a guy like Alfred Payton again, imagine we had Alfred Payton 11 with a Fournier. Maybe we would have got to that promised land, but we didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was wrong. But other than that, I like what we have moving forward. And I believe the New York Knicks organization, the front office, Tom Thibodeau, they will make the right decision this year because their ass is on the line right now. And they know that. They can feel it.
Yeah, real talk. Like we said, man, we lost 10 games this year, literally. We lost 10 games literally for shooting free throws. Just free throws alone. For everything else, we literally lost 10 games this year or more because we shot 50% or 60% from the free throw line. Easy. Yeah, so if you imagine we would have shot 70, 80% as a team, man, we would have been 47, 48 wins. I think those lose games, I couldn't believe we lost this year because we just went, Mr. Robinson was missing, RJ was missing, Julius Randle was missing free throws, and a lot of other guys. So once we improve on that, I would have been fine. You know what I mean? And I have a probably bounce back and be a better team this year and everything. But let me ask you a question: who was the grill master today? Were any of y'all cats grilling it? Who was the grill master? Who was throwing on the grill today? Y'all just was there, feasting off somebody else grilling.
So yeah, I'm at my family's house, so I'm that Devon. I'm feasting on somebody else's grill. Let me tell you something. I just had these beautiful lemon pepper wings.
Oh
man, let me tell you, woo! I got to go back in a minute. That's why I said I had to get back on real quick with my Knick Real Talk family because the food, later the food get way better, and they doing, what we do is what happens in my family, and I'm pretty sure like all your families, they don't bring all the good food out in the beginning. They actually wait. So right now, the fried fish is being cooked right now. And I said, let me come back to the car right now. So
don't say that.
man.
Don't say that out too loud, KJ. I'm in Jersey. Don't say that too loud.
I'm about to jump through the monitor.
I'm
you
in
at, Shy?
Jersey, y'all. The turnpike is right around the corner. Don't get it twisted.
Thank you, man.
But
Listen,
you know what, man? All day by enjoying Memorial Day, man. And Knicks will talk. We in the building, man. You know, I want to come in early today because I know everybody want to get to that game 7. Gonna be something, man. That Boston and Miami game 7 gonna be crazy. So
hey,
you
who
know,
you got tonight, Devon? Who you
I think Miami gonna win that.
Yeah, I think Boston blew their shot, man. They had them, man, and they had them at home, man. It's gonna be a triple time trying to beat them in Miami today, man. If they win, they deserve to go to the championship.
Yeah, I think I'm with Shots, KJ. They
Yeah.
blew that game 6. They beat Miami. It seemed like every team had beaten each other on.
Home.
I don't think Pat Riley and them boys gonna let Miami lose in no game 7 today in Miami.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Boston's defense.
Yeah,
I like with Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like that. A guy like Smart is a guy that I wanted on his New York Knicks team.
Yeah, me too. You know what's interesting about that? I reason why I picked Miami because I don't think Bam Adebayo gonna have a bad game like he had the other day. They beat him, but they beat Boston in Boston with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
The Jimmy Butler. I was like, man, if Bam Adebayo come to the table today, if Tyler Hero get to play and Kyle Lowry give you some more buckets, him and Victor Oladipo on them, there's a bunch of savvy veterans down there, man. I mean, them cats are all playoff caliber, potential all-star players. Kyle Lowry, Oladipo, Adebayo, Jimmy, them all playoff type brothers, man. Them brothers they've been to the playoff, they've been on an all-star game. So it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be a fun game, man. But other than that, man, Tuesday night is the big game. Can them New York Rangers go into Carolina?
Sure.
Oh my God, and win that game? That's what I'm talking about right there, man.
Possible. Can happen.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I can't mess with the Celtics, man. I'm a Knicks fan, bro. I don't mess with too much Boston stuff.
Every time I say Boston,
Yeah, I don't mess with too much Boston stuff. Boston don't want to smoke because we beat Tom Brady twice. They don't want to smoke. The New England, which I consider Boston.
I still think Golden State gonna win. I've been saying this before. Golden State win the whole thing.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, boy, them boys is tough, man. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about this here too. That Andrew Wiggins, man. You know, I was like, you could send Julius Randle out there. Give me send Andrew Wiggins over here. I'm like the way that man playing, boy. That young man playing some good ball. That's a real good wing right there. Send Fournier out there and somebody else for Andrew Wiggins. Send Alex Brooks. He played with Golden State too. I like that, man. Yeah, I really can't wait to see that thing pop off. But it's going to be interesting, man. But I got Golden State. I think Golden State win the whole thing. I just think that they got a lot of with Jordan Poole and the way Wiggins is playing, go along with the big three they already have, and then you got Moody and all them guys, Kuminga, and if Gary Payton Jr. went down, I really would have had him winning it all. You know what I mean? For real, I would have had him win it all. But I tell you what, man, you give me our last word, we gonna get up out of here, man. And but you go get that good food and everything like that. And y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday, man. And we'll see y'all. I guess see you again Thursday. So y'all give it to me, KJ. What's up?
Hey, Knicks Real Talk family, happy Memorial Day weekend. Wherever you watch in the world, God bless you all. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. Again, hey, we're on a couple weeks to the draft. Let's see what our New York Knicks is going to do. Keep the faith. And let's really try to build this thing. Shy and Devon, always be safe, my guys. And thanks for tuning in to Knicks Real Talk family. Please like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, real talk. Thank you for coming in on your Memorial Day, man. I mean, this is what dedication is about. This is what family is about right here. This Knicks Real Talk family. No matter where we at, if we can make it happen, they come in and make it happen, man. And that's love, and I appreciate it. And my brothers are part of the line, man. I'm looking forward to all the endeavors to move forward. But KJ, go get them wings and get that fried fish, man. We got my stomach growling right now.
Yeah,
I would bring y'all back there, but it's so loud, and I don't want to disturb the.
I told you I'm in NJ right now. I'm where we at right now? I don't know where we at. Well, we close to the I-95, so don't say that.
What part of New Jersey, Shop?
What part we in here? Jersey City.
Oh, you right across the bridge.
Yeah, you about maybe 30 minutes from where I'm at right now.
That's nothing for me. If I'm driving, that's like 12.
Hey, White Falcon said, is Curry better than KD if he win MVP and a ring? That's a good question. That's a good question. Curry is the real deal, though. I can't front, but KD is KD too, though. But hey, White Falcon, I got to marinate on that. Come on Thursday and I give you my answer. I got to really think about that.
I definitely I got to think about it too. But let me give my quick little shout out. Salute to you, KJ. As always, Divine, you already know. The chat, I missed y'all tonight because I really can't see the chat from my phone. I don't know why, but it only shows us the stream. So salute to you guys all out there and stuff like that. And listen to this. I'm not 100% sure, but I heard that the Knicks sent some people to Mitchell Robinson to do something about coaching him for the upcoming season. Now, this is only, I just heard this stuff. I've seen a couple of streams even say it as well. So don't be surprised if we re-sign Mitchell Robinson. There's only 2 teams out there that can really outbid us with the Mitchell Robinson trade. They can go into $18 to $20 million. And that's Detroit, and then there's another team. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's another team that was out there. Detroit and anyway, I can't remember the other names, the other team. But it's a chance that we still may hold on to Mitchell Robinson. All right, just to say that out there out loud. All right, salute to the chat. Salute to my family. Knicks Real Talk. Let's get it.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, that Ian Begley reported that Mitchell Robinson, Knicks sent the conglomerate out there to work out with him all summer long.
Right.
And then I had a picture on IG today. I wish I could bring it up to y'all. And Mitchell Robinson was driving in the car. He's on the way back to New York, like home sweet home. And then he got a picture of New York, driving back to New York in his car or something, whatever the case is.
I'm just saying, let's get the Blackness monster back out here.
Hey, Divine and Shaw, to answer White Falcon question, I'm going to say yes to that Steph Curry. I'm going to say yes.
You going to say yes to White Falcons?
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. Steph Curry, yeah. I'm going to give the upper hand to Steph Curry on that one. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to throw it out there like this, Durant, only time Durant's got a ring is with Golden State.
Golden State,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so without Curry, then he wouldn't have a ring because he surely ain't doing it in Brooklyn.
Check it out. Look.
Home.
Mitchell Robinson.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Empire State, Mitchell Robinson got home.
Yeah, that's what it is right there.
New York. Maybe to sign Mitch up, man. Give Mitch that money. Quit playing. Get that elite rim protector out here.
Back in New York.
Yeah, man. Let's get it popping, man. But listen, y'all go enjoy y'all Memorial Day, man. Go and get that food.
Yes.
Be safe. Get your couple of drinks. Be safe. KJ, my brother. Shaw, my brother. Love you, brothers, man. Now, I'll see you cats on the next episode. Knicks Real Talk. Shaw, KJ, the chat. Quiet Sunday, but we in here each and every day, each and every way. Let's get it, man. Peace to everybody.
Peace. Salute.
Time for Divine Shot, KJ events. This Real Talk's the brand. You understand how we do, my man. I'm on that Friday night Knick shit, dripping in Knick shit. Up in the world, most famous arena. With the click, that's the conglomerate. The Knicks Real Talk, the real prominent. I'm a bit like the Omicron variant, dominant. Paying homage to the cats in the chat. That's where it's at. When I'm hearing that, you don't care for how early we straight back. We interact with the mob, the gods. Up in the pod, the squad, with the side. My entourage, be on the job, my energy. Feeling tripping in 10 books. As they took my game plan, and my brand for loot and pursuit. Going hard like the New York City gritty committee. Cause that the Knicks ain't always pretty, but we all stay giddy. And we embrace the fan base like the late Anthony Mace. We trace the logo when there's space that appear like Squarespace. Staring down on the Chase Bridge, look at that Knicks City drip. The city decks is on the court, looking pretty legit. I stay true to the orange and blue. I thought you knew for him a few bars to shine like Star Divine on Mount Mars. Knicks Real Talk. Here we go, let's go.
Knicks Real Talk right here. I'm representing
Knicks Real Talk.
right here. Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
We here in the building.
Knicks Real Talk.
Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Knicks Real Talk.
We here.
Here we go, let's go.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Let's get it.